Okay, folks, good morning and welcome to Swing Trading Today. This is Bob Desmond, and it is 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the 15th of September. I almost said August. 15th of September. Okay, great day yesterday across the board. Broad-based rally. A little bit of a fade across the major averages. We're seeing a pop-up higher this morning. We'll take a look at those charts in the pre-market in a moment. First, let's talk about economic data, which is going to be coming out fast and furious this week. This morning, Empire State Manufacturing Index, import price index. Watch that. Will we see a rise in inflation with the pullback of the U.S. dollar? Industrial production, capacity utilization. That's factory capacity utilization. Real medium household income. And other than that, that's pretty much it. Tomorrow is a big one. That's retail sales. What else do we have? Oh, we have the Fed meeting tomorrow. They're not raising rates. Thursday, of course, we have initial jobless claims. Hey, Roop, how you doing, man? Good morning. Housing starts, building permits. What? Okay, now I'm reconnected. Oh, boy. Friday, U of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Survey. All right, so a lot of economic data coming out this week. Let's go to the pre-market activity. Then when we're done with the pre-market activity, we're going to go to some members' stock chart requests. And if we have time, we're going to go to about 5:30 this morning. We'll take some chart requests from the audience. So let's get to it. Let's do it. All right, let's go to the S&P 500 futures first off. Now, the S&P 500 this morning is flashing a continuation breakout versus yesterday, which is good to see. No new high versus yesterday's high. So we have our breakout, our pullback, our retest of the breakout point. Now we're flirting with a new high. Now, we need to see this pretty quickly because if we don't get it, I worry about a fade on the day. Just as we saw yesterday. It wasn't a huge fade, but it was a fade nonetheless. Let's go to the NASDAQ 100. They are up spot 0.69%. No breakout versus yesterday's highs. We have resistance at around 11,400 on the NASDAQ 100. RSI is doing the right thing. It's validating the move higher. No negative divergences. The Russell, small caps, they had a really good day yesterday. They're not up as much as the larger caps this morning, but they had a really good day yesterday. A little bit of indecision here. This doji formation. Keep in mind that this bar, this is a 4-hour chart, and this bar here just opened up literally 5 minutes ago. So it'll close at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as a reminder for you folks out there that are new, join us on Thursday night for Thursday Night Stock Charts Live. That's where we review the weekly closing price action of the stock market on Thursday evening to get a feel for where we may be closing out the week. It's really a good time, so please join in. There's a link below. Enter your email address, get alerted 15 minutes to a half hour prior to us going live. Sometimes when you click that bell button on YouTube, it doesn't fire off. YouTube doesn't update. This is what I've been told. They do an update, and sometimes people get knocked off. Rube, US 500 been going up past 2 hours. Yeah, it'll probably continue. I think for the short term anyway. You know, after the election, I wish I could tell you what was going to happen, but I'm fairly confident that gold will continue to move up higher after the election, whether or not stocks are going to continue higher. Given the state of our social and political backdrop, it does not look good. It does not look good for stocks going into election. You know, does the market begin to price in indecision prior to the election? It's quite possible. All right. Just wanted to clear this all up. The dollar, despite the fact that we're down on the session, and we were down yesterday as well, it's not that bad. It looks as though what we're setting up for is an inverse head and shoulders setup. Might it fail? Sure. Longer term, do I predict that it will fail? Sure. But as it stands right now, while we are down, I didn't want to do that. We are not out. Here's the left shoulder, head, right shoulder. And let's call this our neckline. Now, we're heavily long of commodities, so I would prefer for the dollar to weaken. We're going to go to gold, silver in a moment. And if we break support here, that's going to spell trouble for the dollar at around 92.66 on the Dixie. Let's take a look at a commodity that's near and dear to us. Heck, silver's in front of us. We'll take a look at silver first. A monster chart. This chart's just saying, come F with me. Try to short me. I dare you. Try to short me. Monster. So we're seeing a major consolidation here. We're long of silver, and we have been for a couple of weeks now. We booked profits back here when it became overbought, excuse me, and it's dropped back down into this trading range. So I'm liking this setup here. We'll be buyers of more silver pretty soon. Loving the setup. Absolutely a monster consolidation. This is a coiled spring. Where's my gold? I just had it up here. Why don't you remember my symbols? Do-do-do-do. There we go. All right, so the last time I looked at it, we had a 9 handle, meaning we were up over $9. We've increased that gain over the past 15 minutes. And it's another monster chart. We became overbought. We booked some profits on the gold miners back here. It dropped back down into a consolidation. The dollar gained some steam, putting some pressure on the dollar. That steam's coming off. The pressure's coming off of gold. And now you're seeing it lift up. So we have in sight the 2,000 mark yet again. We could be there as soon as tomorrow. Here's our new breakout point. We had broken out here, retested here once, retested here twice, follow through. Very powerful chart. So gold looking good. Let's check out oil, light sweet crude. We did some buying of energy late last week, some beaten down names. I plan on adding more. This is a hated sector. Names that we're looking at: ExxonMobil, Occidental. Occidental was stopped out of several weeks ago, and thank God we did, because it just kept dropping. So we're going to look to buy that back at a support level that we have predefined already. And I'll be sending out alerts when we do execute those trades. All right, so oil this morning, while this doesn't look good here, this does look good. We have a breakout. Not a powerful, you got to go buying it, breakout. Hand over fist, meaning buying it. You can nibble. You know, what I worry about after a big drop is whether or not a rally like this is a dead cat bounce, similar to what this was here. I don't think it is. This is a tight cluster of consolidation. I think that we can move up higher here on oil. And that will be good for the overall market. So oil looking interesting this morning. Copper, sign of global growth, has resumed its uptrend. Let's take a quick peek at a weekly chart to get a feel for, yeah, man, this is a powerful chart. This is a powerful chart. Tight cluster of consolidation. It looks as though we're going to move up higher here. So Dr. Copper looking strong. We have a breakout. We broke out here yesterday morning, this 4-hour bar. Retest 1, retest 2, 3, 4. Now it appears that we're holding. Watch for follow through. Nat gas, which we haven't looked at in a while. Not much happening here. Possible higher low. You're seeing the same on RSI. I wouldn't be a buyer yet. I would watch and wait. Ideally, we get higher highs after putting in higher lows. Set up a little bit of a tripwire here. This has to hold this lower band of support. If it does not, we are not interested in getting long. If we begin to break out, poke our nose above this resistance level in yellow, I'd be interested in that gas, and very interested on a breakout above this upper band of resistance, now in green. We have a higher low on our RSI. So we're seeing signs of healing here on nat gas, but not quite ready yet to go jumping in. Let's check out bonds. The banks had a really good day yesterday. Yields pulled back. Yields rose. Apologize. Bonds pulled back. And that helped out the banks. Are we seeing the same thing today? Let's find out. 10-year yield. A 10-year bond price. We're pulling back. That means that yields are on the rise this morning. That bodes well for the banks. Very good. Okay, let's wrap up with corn, agriculture. Not doing much here today. All right, let's go to some chart requests. I have one watch stock I want to go over that I'm really attracted to. And that is TPX, Tempur-Pedic. This is a monthly chart. What I like to do for those that are new, I use multi-time frame analysis. That's my style. I always like to use the higher level view charts, monthly charts, weekly charts to identify where a stock has been, to give an indication of where it might be going. So Tempur-Pedic has a new monthly high, and in fact, there's an outside reversal bar on the month. Very powerful. Our Stokes are rising, RSI are rising. We're right at the highs of the month, shrugging off that sell-off. Good stuff. And the program I'm using here, the software I'm using is TrendSpider, automated technical analysis. And with a click of a button, I can see where I have monthly resistance and support below. And we have a long way to go before we hit monthly resistance. Now, seasonality, as we proceed into October, we have historically going back. This is only a year. Let's pull back and see how much more data we can get here. That's too thin. All right, this is better. All right, seasonality in September, usually up 59% of the time. We drop back down in October to being up 56% of the time. But then November really picks up to 69%. This is data going back 17 years. So seasonably favorable. Weekly chart. Now, we've had several weeks of consolidation. Now we have broken out of a wedge formation. The problem is, and this is the power of having automated trend lines. Click of a button. We're right at resistance. We're technically above resistance, but remember, this is a weekly chart. The week is not over. We have 4 trading days left to go. Anything could happen. Ideally, with Tempur-Pedic, we get a pullback and a retest of support. And that would make for a good risk-reward entry point. And we'll keep this active for, it's a weekly chart, we'll keep it active for 10 days, and we're good to go. I don't want to go chasing it as we trade at resistance. That's not the discipline. Daily chart. Huge day yesterday. But when you see a long consolidation with this much resistance above, normally you're going to get a pullback and a retest. And keep in mind that we closed out the day yesterday above the third standard deviation Bollinger Band. So can the shares move up higher? Yes, but they will pause, and we will look to buy them at our support level. Let's throw up some trend lines here. You can see that we broke out above one trend line yesterday. I'll create another alert here. I'll be looking to see whether or not it holds this support level. It's not my favorite support level. We may do a quick intraday pullback, tap this lower band of support, then rally back off of it. So I like these two support levels. I prefer this one down here at 89.20. Now keep in mind, I'm going to overlay now on a daily chart, weekly resistance. Keep this in mind. Powerful data. We closed technically above weekly resistance, but again, the week is not over. We might fade here a bit, especially the fact that we're trading above the third standard deviation Bollinger Band. In short, we're not supposed to be there technically, so expect a pullback. But I do like this name. It's setting up very, very nicely longer term. All right, let's go to XBI. I know that's an ETF. Was that construction? I believe construction. Oh, biotech. Biotech. All right, let's take these off. Really good day yesterday. Wow. Nice rally back on the month so far. XBI is now up. Technically flashing a bullish key reversal on a monthly basis. Automated trend lines. You can see that we got overbought relative to this upper band of resistance and the third standard deviation Bollinger Band back in July. We pulled back, nice consolidation. Here is now critical support. Weekly chart, we have a breakout. Very nice. Daily chart. All right. So one concern I do have here is that you have a volume shelf right here. Right here. Which reflects resistance above. And we closed just shy of it yesterday. So to me, that's a yellow flag on the track, telling me to be cautious. While I'm bullish on the shares of XBI, the market's telling me, it's sending me a signal. Listen, you have resistance above. Be very, very careful here. Wait for a pullback. So what I want to do is create an alert at the breakout point. XBI is very volatile, so it could easily retap that support level. And if it doesn't, we're not going to chase it. And for those folks interested in TrendSpider, there's a link below, 35% off. Use that link to get to their website and discount code CON35. touch, bounce, and we're good. So we're looking for a pullback, retest. Remember, traders are OCD. I know because I have it. We spent months trying to get through this, or I should say weeks trying to get through this resistance level. Now, traders are going to want to see a pullback, a retest, and the ability of the XBI to hold what was resistance. It should now act as support. RSI breakout, Stokes breakout, looking good. Bullish, XBI, wait for the pullback. Adobe, a little bit of stalling action here. This is a monthly chart. A little bit of stalling action. We put in a new monthly high, but we couldn't hold it. This is a tech high flyer, and they've really taken it on the chin of late. So from a monthly perspective, I'm not loving it. Not quite yet. Maybe the weekly and daily charts could sway me a bit, but as it stands, not loving it. Let's check out seasonality. 17 years worth of data. We're heading into a fairly strong part of the year. January is very weak, but otherwise, seasonably favorable. Weekly chart. Okay, so note where we bounced yesterday, right off of that monthly support level, which I just drew. Let's throw up some trend lines here, see if we get anything. Yep. So we broke out on the week. We recaptured support, which we surrendered last week. The week is not over. Very, very good price action here on a weekly basis. So I just went from kind of bearish to not as bearish. Daily chart. I think there's a trade to be had here. But I'll tell you, if we surrender this lower band of support again, it's probably all over for a while for Adobe, especially if we put in a new weekly low. But as it stands right now, Adobe is setting up for a breakout out of this triangle formation. So I would wait for the breakout and ideally a retest, possibly even a retest of this support level here. And I would add in increments. Buy the breakout, small opening position, add on a successful retest of support. Touch, bounce, done. Set it and forget it. Until this gets fired off, I don't care what Adobe does. I'm not going to stare at it all day long. Wait for it to come to us. That's the discipline. DKNG, DraftKings. They just broke out. Yep. Let's take this off, clean this up. I can tell you right now from a daily perspective, we're going to pull back. All right, forget about the monthly chart, not enough data. Weekly chart, very powerful. Really nice consolidation. I think that we are going to head up higher, but not before we get a pullback. Daily chart. Where do we close out? So we have some support here. $44 per share. That's sexy. Create an alert there. DKNG. And we will keep it active for the week. Let's see if we have any trend lines. Let's see if we can overlay some weekly trend lines. No, nothing. Not enough data yet. Forget about seasonality. There's just not enough data. It's too thin. Now, let's see if we have headline opportunity. And what I mean by headline opportunity is, as a contrarian, I like to see a stock with good technicals, with a lot of holds and sells by analysts. And that provides me some headline opportunity, meaning we could wait for Wolf Research to go from hold to buy. That'll send the shares up higher. B of A has a hold on it. Trust Securities, I don't even know who that is, but Morgan Stanley, we all know who they are. So they have a hold on it. So that's opportunity. So good. So DraftKings is looking interesting. Let's wait for a pullback and a retest of support. Then we could look to enter to the long side. And then, yes, I will be sending out trade alerts when we buy, add, sell. And with that, folks, I'm going to say, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Join us on Thursday night for Thursday Night Stock Charts Live. There's a link below to get added to the email list to get alerted. And there's also a link to my 5-part favorite candlestick pattern video tutorial. So with that, I'm going to say, everybody have a profitable trading day. Thanks for joining in at this early, and be well.